Okay, so now we're going to talk about graphing an ellipse if we are given the general form. And remember, we want to put this in this form. This is the general form, and it doesn't really tell me where the center is or the A or the B. So we want to get in this form here from our previous notes. Okay, x minus h squared over a squared, y minus k squared over b squared equals 1, and it has to be equal to 1. Okay, and then the a and the b are going to determine the horizontal and vertical axes. So how are we going to do such a thing? Well, it's going to be very similar to the circle. We're going to have to complete the square. It's a little bit more complicated. So let's get at it. So first of all, we'll write the x terms like we did. 9x squared and minus 18x and leave a space. And then we'll write the y terms plus 16y squared plus 64y. And then we'll put the 71 on the other side plus 71. Okay. If that makes sense. All right. Okay, then what we're going to do is we're going to try to complete our squares. So, well, first of all, though, we don't want a 9 in front, so we're going to factor out whatever's in front of the x squared. So we'll take out the 9, and now we have x squared minus and 2x. 9 goes in 18 twice. And leave space. And then plus, I'm going to take out whatever's in front of the y squared, 16. And now we have y squared, and 16 goes into 64 4 times, so that's going to be plus 4y. And leave a space. And that's going to equal 71. Okay? Now once we do that, then we're going to try to complete the squares. Okay? So this is going to be x. And what's half of 2? 1. What's 1 squared? 1. So I'm going to add 1. But this is 9 times 1, so I'm really adding 9. So I have to add 9 to both sides. Because I'm adding 1 here, but 9 times 1 is 9, so I'm adding 9 to the left. So I have to add 9 to the right. And then over here, y squared of y squared is y, and half of 4 is 2, and 2 squared is 4, so I need to make this a 4. But I'm not adding 4, I'm adding 16 times 4, and that's 64, so I have to add 64 to the right. 16 times 4 is 64, so I have to add 64 to the right. Okay? Now I can factor this, so I've got 9 times, and this is going to be x and 1, x minus 1, and this is going to be plus 16 times, and this is going to be binomial squared. It's going to be, the sign will be positive, and then y and 2, y plus 2, and that's going to equal, and 71 plus 9 is 80, 80 plus 64 is 144. Okay? Now remember, in our standard form, this has got to be equal to 1, so we just divide everything by 144. Okay, so divide every term by 144. Now we can reduce this nicely. It usually works out this way. 9 goes into 144 16 times. If you multiply 16 times 9, you get 144. So we have x minus 1 squared all over 16. And 16 goes into 144 9 times, so we've got y plus 2 squared over 9, and 144 over 144 is 1. And now we're in standard form. So where's my center? My center is at 1, negative 2. All right. And my A is equal to plus or minus 4, and my B is equal to plus or minus 3. So that's my horizontal, determine my horizontal and vertical axes. Okay, so if we want to graph this, we're all ready to go. So the center is at 1, negative 2. So go at 1 down 2, there's my center. 1, negative 2. Okay, 1 down, negative 2. And then my A is plus or minus 4, so that's my horizontal, so I'm gonna go plus or minus 4 from this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And minus 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And that point is the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, negative 2. And this point is the point negative 1, 2, 3, negative 3, negative 2. And then my B was plus or minus 3, so I'll go up 3, 1, 2, 3, and down 3, 1, 2, 3. And this point is 1, 1. And this point is 1, negative 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you connect those and you got your ellipse. And with practice, you get a little bit better at curving them. Especially if you use graph paper, because then you have exact points. If you don't use graph paper, it's going to be a little more challenging. So there's kind of what the ellipse looks like. All right. And these are what we call our vertices there. Okay. So again, it's not too difficult. It's just have to be careful. Really have to get good at completing the square on these. And then again, there's your standard form or graphing friendly form. We can see the center. And we can see what determines our horizontal and vertical axes. And in this case, this would be the major axis because it's longer. So the major axis is the axis that's longer. This is the minor axis. Okay?